Welcome back to Football Pundits, everyone. And it's the Europa League semi-finals. Manchester United versus Sevilla. Sevilla are 5 times Europa League champions. They are the only team to retain the title twice. Once it was a double and once 3 times in a row. I'm going to throw it to Prasham from the United Star. Prasham, what do you think about today's game?
Man, today's game is one of those nervy games. Two semi-finals this season. We've lost both. This is the third. As you know it, third time's the charm. I think I'm quietly confident about this game. I think we're going to win this game because I think we have the sort of quality that we need. No doubt Sevilla is a good team, and like you said, they have the experience of winning it and things like that. But I think Manchester United, well, last game is nothing to go by, but over a period of time, I think we've shown that we do have the sort of leadership with Bruno coming in and with the likes of Martial stepping up. I think that we are hungry, and Ole clearly wants to win this game because, I mean, the last game, okay, we won that good, but the game before that, it was 1-1 against last. And you could see Martial told him that, there are goals in this game and I wanted a goal. And he brought him on and we got the goal, we got the win. So he wants to keep that winning momentum going. And that kind of mentality from Martial, that he sees that there's a goal and he wants the goal. And I think that is what's going to guide us through today in tonight's game. And more than that, I think that our midfield will be too strong for Sevilla. I think the likes of Pogba, I'm hoping Matic starts today. Pogba, Matic and Bruno together. I think these three will provide enough variety in the midfield to keep Sevilla busy. Because I think Bruno is the kind of player who can draw a couple of players to himself. And Pogba can be himself. He'll be a little freer today. And hopefully he can sort of set the tempo of the game. And why I want Matic to start is because if Fred starts, then Pogba is more involved in his defensive duties. And I want him to play a more freer role today because he is our big match player. He is the guy who's won the World Cup. He's played the Euros finals. He's won the World Cup, like I said. And he has won trophies with Juventus. He's won trophies with United. So he's our big match player and I want him to deliver today. So I want him Matic to play, relieve Pogba of the defensive duties, link that midfield and defense up brilliantly for Pogba, and go ahead and do it. The other thing I'm expecting today is a big performance from Anthony Martial. I think he looks on for it. And in our sort of formation that we're going to play, which I'm expecting a 4-3-3, I don't want Ole to tweak that at all. A 4-3-3, and in that, I think with Pogba and Bruno providing balls over the top of the defense or through the defense between the lines is what I'm expecting. Martial picking those balls up and converting. So I think this is the kind of tactical setup I'm looking
at. I think take a breath. Oh, you've gone on a perfect summation with full excitement and passion over there. Before we go into the lineup, I want to bring Abby into this because I feel it's very crucial, right? We have been okay-ish over the last 2 games. It's not the kind of form you want to be going into against Sevilla. I personally believe, yes, in the long run, we are good enough and we are the better team. Abhishek, though, knockout game.
Most definitely. And first up, Prasham, thanks for coming today. Your passion and your excitement for tonight is so evident. And that's exactly how every United fan and every Sevilla fan must be feeling, right? And it's so good to see that. And it's optimism always will pay dividends, right? And I hope the club does well for you tonight. Yes, Ani, I think form is everything, especially in a time right now where clubs are not playing competitive football across the spectrum, right? It's just the Europa League right now, at least for Manchester United and for Sevilla as well. Coming to Sevilla, Prasham touched upon how United's midfield is probably better, and I agree with that. But my only concern going into tonight is that if you look at the way Sevilla have played this season, and to put it in Sky Sports words, right? They are a supremely organized, elite European brute with or without the ball. I think that's where it could get a little scary for us. We have struggled to convincingly defeat Wolves this season in the X number of times we've played them. Sevilla, if you remember that game, they absolutely sucked the life out of that Wolves side. Yes, they got unlucky with that missed penalty chance, but hey, it was a missed penalty chance from their end. The other thing is that Ever Banega, I know everyone's talking about him. Yes, Lucas Ocampos got the winner for them against Wolves, 14 goals this season. But Sevilla don't actually have much of an attacking force. Their main game lies in that midfield, which is where I'm a bit wary about us not stepping up to the mark. We've had these games of late where we haven't started well. We tend to concede one and then we go and win 3-1, 4-1. Sevilla are a side where if we concede first, we are going to struggle to equalize, because the minute we give them that edge, the minute we give them that lead, they have they are very capable of absolutely shutting it down. When you talk about the Europa League this season, let me throw up some numbers. Sevilla have actually had more touches than Man United. If you compare the last games that we've played, Ever Banega compared to our midfielders had the most touches against Wolves, 139. He completed more passes than any of our United players. They had the most chances in the game. So, they are a side that I worry we might be taking a little too lightly. When I say we, I mean the larger fan base, not footballing experts. So, you know what? This is going to be a very, very, very tricky fixture. And some good news for Sevilla fans, and I must call it out. Nemanja Gudel, who had tested positive for coronavirus, luckily has been cleared for this game and he's completed his isolation, so he comes back. And two more players from Sevilla, Sergio Regulin and Jesus Navas. They've been in absolutely scintillating form this season. So, talking about form, I think form will matter, but I think from a United standpoint, oh my God, this is probably the biggest game for Paul Pogba, Nemanja Matic, and Bruno Fernandes this season. More than our attack, more than our defense.
Come into that, Abhishek, because now that makes sense, and I'm going to plug it back to Prasham, where Prasham, we left you off. But before that, let's not forget Sevilla themselves are also tricky phases when they almost went out to Cluj, 1-1 draw, and then they went on away goals in the second leg. They were convincing against Roma. They were actually not convincing against Wolves, like Abhishek said. And Wolves are predominantly a very well-oiled team. They are frustrating to get past. And my biggest fear...
Adama Traore quite literally is well-oiled.
Yeah, and my biggest fear was playing an organized side like Wolves in the semi-finals. Versus where I agree with Abby that, a Sevilla, in worst case, they do take the lead, will be a tough side to get past. If you had to take, odds, or you take me, who do you rather face in the semi-final? I would at least say Sevilla. Only because Manchester United, with the players we have, like you said, Bruno, even if Mata starts in this game and we go with the 4-4-2, and now I'll get Prasham into this, we have a Mata who can come and unlock this Sevilla defense. They are not that airtight. Yes, they've had a good run this year themselves in the La Liga. They are tied 70 points in the top 4, but they have chinks in their armor versus United, who are in a better form, who are in the last 24 games only on 1 defeat. Prasham, now tell me. Now come into your tactical bit there in the midfield.
Just talking about form, just one thing. A wise man named Animesh once said that form goes out a window in knockout games. So I don't think it's going to be a big problem. But I think you've raised a very valid point with Mata, and I've been calling it out. First of all, I'm a huge Mata fanboy. I don't think anyone is not a Mata fanboy. The man's he's an absolute gem to have, but like the way he can unlock a defense is actually spectacular, and we saw that against in the last game against Copenhagen. He came on and he created more chances than anyone, including Bruno. I'm going to include Bruno in this, including Bruno in the last game. So this is where I think Ole needs to trust Mata more in the Europa League, especially because I'm not saying start him. No, I'm not saying start him. But you can definitely bring him on at the 75th minute, not in extra time. He's not that bad a player that you wait till extra time to throw him into the scheme of things. You can bring him on earlier. This is where I think he needs to trust his substitutes a little bit. I know we don't have the best bench strength, but a player like Mata brings that different component to the side, which can break teams open. And the pace of the game is not that quick as it is in the Premier League or it would be in the Champions League. And Mata sort of likes that pace of the game. You saw against Copenhagen, he was dribbling past players. You don't see Mata do that in the Premier League at all. So I think Mata can be a link.
Because you mentioned substitutions, and Abhishek, I'm going to throw this to you. Were Ole's substitutions against Copenhagen a bit of worry for you? How slowly he reacted, or you thought it was eventually well timed? I think Ole could have done better in that game. He could have reacted much faster.
Yeah. Look, I think Ole's hands are tied, guys. I've always said this from the start of the season. He doesn't have a bench. And I genuinely believe that this fervor around Mata right now is just a consequence of 30, 40, 50 minutes that he played against Copenhagen. Otherwise, before the Copenhagen game, Mata was one of the first 3 names that we wanted out of for 40 million in 2014. Not this current version of Juan Mata who puts in half a decent shift across 38 games in a season. Which is why I'll come back to the Mata factor. I would still say Fred is more important for us in this game because, like I said, Sevilla are incredible at controlling the ball. They are very good at passing the ball around. We need someone to cut between the lines and retrieve the ball. If we go a goal down, we absolutely need a Fred to cut their concentric circles of passing. Otherwise, what will happen is do you remember that game where Barca completely outpassed us over 90 minutes in 2011? Possession stats were 70-30. I'm not saying Sevilla have the the capabilities and the quality to do a 70-30, but that is the kind of side that we are playing today, which is where I feel a Mata would be completely obsolete. If it's 1-1, we're chasing the game for the win. If both sides are attacking, then maybe Mata comes in as a differential. But if we are 0-1 down, if we are even 2-0 down, or if we're even 1-0 up, I wouldn't bring Juan Mata in.
So
if we're 1-0 up, I would say shut the game out. Bring McTominay, bring Fred.
The reason why I said Juan Mata was because Rashford hasn't been 100% since he's come back since the start of the lockdown, after the lockdown, right? Let's all agree to that.
Yep.
I'm not
It's
blaming
his back injury, to be fair.
double stress fracture. Clearly, he's not 100%.
Yeah.
I do not blame the guy. He has passion. He wants to play every game. But would you start him then in this game? And if not him, and you switch to a 4-4-2, would you not rather have Juan Mata? Or how would you guys line up? I'm going to start Prasham first. I would personally consider benching Rashford at least, not starting Mata though.
Animesh, my view on this is that I would start Rashford because he can provide that telling moment in the game. And you start him and you take him off at 60-65 minutes if he's not doing well, especially because of what Abhishek has been saying about how Sevilla are good at passing and keeping the ball. In Rashford is one player who will keep running and keep tracking if you tell him to. So I think that might be important today. So I would definitely start Rashford because again, he's got that elite mentality. He got that PSG win. You remember that Rashford was an integral part. So I think you start him for sure. Obviously, I think Romero will start in goal and the defense will pick itself. I want to see Bailly play this game, even though it might be a little bit of a risk, but I want to see that partnership continuing. And I think the key role will be played by Brandon Williams and Wan-Bissaka because unlike Abby, I'm going to start with Matic. So I think Matic will play that sort of third defender role and Williams and Wan-Bissaka will have to go in and break the passing of Sevilla. So I think they will play a very important role. Like I said, Pogba and Bruno have already said that they have to be the sort of creative outlet of this team. And then Martial, Mason and Rashford up top. Hit them with the pace, and
essentially, Prasham, you are saying unchanged, right? Essentially, you're saying unchanged because the players have had the rest. It's not a factor. Fatigue is not a factor. Yep. Abhishek, do you agree with that? I agree. Also, I do not think fatigue is a factor. If you're not considering maybe switching the formation up, then this is the best lineup in a 4-3-3.
Look, for a side like Manchester United to scream fatigue when you've had 6 days of break is not Manchester United mentality, or it's not the way that we are, right? Exactly. We scream fatigue when we play back-to-back games. Ole has said it himself, right? My players need to get used to playing 60 games a season. We saw him do it to Bruno, and I think that was a lesson to take from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's management, right? I don't care if you're my star man. I don't care if you're a new guy. I don't care if you've come from the Portuguese league. You need to get used to playing 60 games a season, and I won't say ran him to the ground, but he played him every single minute ever since he's come in, right? Now, the other thing about the lineup, yes, Prasham, I absolutely want to see our strongest 11 because I think we don't have a strong 12 or a strong 13. We have a strong 11 and it ends there. So we absolutely must start with them. My only reason for starting Rashford, to answer Annie's question, is slightly different, which is coming back to the point, we need to start strong, guys. And if we can get a goal within the first 20 minutes, this is our game. It's our game to lose.
So I do agree with Abhishek and with Prasham. I think we are in the same wavelength, right? I was just offering a mere option of if you switch formation, should you then drop Rashford? I believe also you have to start with the strongest lineup because we've seen it's a proven winner. Without a doubt, our best lineup we have seen on the field for the last 2 seasons. Maybe I'm pushing it there, but I don't think so. I think in terms of cohesiveness, it's the best unit we've seen. Now, finally moving on to predictions, and then we'll close. Prasham, first with you. Scoreline.
I think it's going to be a 2-1 kind of a victory. We'll get the early goal that Abby's talking about, and then we'll get another, and then Sevilla will try to mount a comeback. They'll get a goal, and we'll see them through. I think 2-1, and the goals coming from Martial and Rashford.
Abhishek?
1-1, and United win it on penalties.
Okay, you're not even saying extra time. You're saying straight penalties and United to win it.
Penalties.
If it comes to penalties, I do not know how much I would trust even Romero. But I hope it doesn't come to that because my prediction is 3-1 to United. Yes, it's apparently a very heavy scoreline, which is not very favorable out there. People are giving Sevilla, history of winning the Europa League and all, and a good side. I just believe Manchester United, the way they played in the last 2 games, were not themselves, and I feel in this game is a game we'll finally see that attacking lineup, the way they come out. And if we start Rashford, I think he will finally click in this game. So thank you so much for being here, Prasham. Thank you, Abhishek, as well. If you guys do have similar views, please share them. If you disagree, share them even more. Let us know exactly what a score prediction is. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget, we'll be back in the next episode for our Champions League review, where Man City were knocked out as well. And another prediction was rubbish. So we'll see you in that one. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.